Hello, and welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. I'm John, your host today, and for every day that I'll be doing streams. Um, a little while ago, I bought 16 compact Macintoshes, and I've started taking them apart and refurbishing them. And today is going to be the first time that I get one completely rebuilt. At least I hope I get it completely rebuilt. And I'm starting off with a Macintosh Plus because that was in the best condition compared to the rest of the Macs that I got. And I've never worked on a compact or a Mac Plus specifically, so I was looking forward to seeing what was inside, and hopefully things will work out all right. So let's get started here. So I haven't totally finished the repairs on, well, it didn't really need much in the way of repairs. The battery holder was in pretty rough shape, and there had been some corrosion that went down the back of the motherboard, and ultimately went down to the bottom, and it created some rust spots in the chassis. And so what I did was I cleaned up all the rust. I repainted everything with self-etching primer, and then I gave it this nice little bronze. So all the corrosion has been cleaned up. Hopefully everything's ready to go on this board. I did not test the functionality of this thing before I took it apart. I wanted to get it all cleaned up before I powered this on. The one other thing I did fix on this board is the capacitors. So I think these are Y caps and this is an X cap. They were the Rifa kind, and so let me show you what they look like. So here's the big Rifa. You can see if I had plugged this thing in, it would have probably made a big stinky mess on the big bed bench. And the other ones I'd already taken apart already made a giant mess on the bench, so I didn't want a big stinky mess. So yeah, the thing about these Mac Pluses is apparently the Rifas are connected even when the power is not switched on, so you can theoretically have them blow at any point. So I took care of that. I need to solder on this battery connector. Solder the battery connector back on. When I took this off, I just sort of took the tops off of those heat stakes and tried to leave as much of the studs on as possible. And so if we flip this over, you can see, let's zoom in a little bit here. You can see that those heat stakes are still there. The majority of the studs are still there. So I'm hoping to try to reuse those. So I have these pushed all the way back in there. Just gonna tug on this one a little bit. Probably should be using a bigger soldering iron for this, but This will be okay. I will mention that this is, like I said, this was the first time I've worked with one of these. The PCB was a little bit fragile. You can see over here, I lifted a little tiny bit of a trace there and a little bit of a tiny bit of a trace there. So I just sort of scraped off some of the solder mask and bent the legs over and extended. Oh yeah, there was a little bit of a trace missing there, you can see. But I just bent the legs over and applied a little bit of solder. It should be good to go at this point. Let's zoom back out a little bit. So what I'm gonna do now is, since we don't have the heat stakes holding it, I'm gonna try to put in some tiny screws, and I'm actually gonna hit mute real quick because I don't want the sound of my drill. My regular drill couldn't hold this tiny of a drill bit, so I'm gonna have to use my Dremel here. But I don't want the sound of the Dremel to come through the audio, so I'm gonna mute this. Alright, and so that went fairly smoothly. And let's put in some screws. I think that the solder should be strong enough to hold these, but it's not going to hurt anything to add some screws to help strengthen it. And it was sort of hard to go through my screws and find ones that would be thin enough to allow the stud from the heat stake to stay there, but also have a big enough head that it wouldn't fall right through the hole. And these screws are just screws that I had salvaged from cases when I was throwing them away. Alright, so there's our battery holder, much stronger. So this thing I had to soak in some vinegar, and I just hit it with a little bit of deoxit to sort of protect the copper. Alright, so this should be good to go. While my soldering iron is on, there's a mod that I need to do to the motherboard. Let me grab the motherboard. So as far as my recollection goes, excuse me, Mac Pluses were the first Macintoshes to have SCSI on them, which is really useful because we can use our blue SCSI that we made in a previous stream to boot this thing up. But the blue SCSI requires termination power in order to be powered from the SCSI port itself. So what we're going to do is do a little mod where all we have to do is throw a little diode in this little spot right here, and then that will provide the termination power. Take off the shield. Apply some fresh solder to the two joints, two solder pads where that's going to go. Look how clean the back of this board is. It's like brand new. I have not cleaned this board at all. This thing looked basically brand new when I got it. The outside wasn't perfect, but the inside was in really good shape, except for the battery explosion. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit more. You can see that joint is clean now. All right. So we now have two clean soldered pads. So if we look on here, hey Adam, how are you? Hope you have a Hago pump for this. No, I don't have a solder pump. I have old school. Oh, there we go. The SATA pullet. Generally, this thing works pretty well. It was not great for doing some of the other stuff on the analog board. Where did I just put my diode? Okay, here we go. We have our diode. And we're just going to have the stripe match the little arrow on the board there. I've misplaced my tiny snippers, so we're gonna have to use the chunky boys for now. I'll come back and hit that up later. Alright, so our motherboard should be good to go. When I So the way the ROMs work for this, I think if this is disconnected, that it should take 1 meg ROMs or RAM sims. Yeah, I can't speak today. So I went in and populated this with 4 matching sims. So hopefully this is good to go. So I guess what we're gonna do is start putting the chassis together first. Zoom out. Set that aside. Okay, so here's the restored main metal chassis, and you can see I just used some spray paint that I had after I removed the rust and primed it. The primer actually looked a little bit nicer, but generally you don't want to leave primer by itself because primer can absorb moisture. So I just sprayed it with whatever spray paint I had. So I'm gonna grab the front panel. Don't want to scratch it. It's all nice and clean now. So here you can see the front panel. This system was actually in really good shape cosmetically to start off with. I did do a little bit of retro brighting. There was some yellowing on the side. You can still see a little tiny bit of there, but it looks pretty good overall. So that on there, that on there. And I started, so I have 16 of these, like I said, and I started taking them apart, and I put all the screws in one bag, and I shortly realized that that was not a good strategy when working on Macs. So for this one, I gave it its own bag. So hopefully all the correct screws are here. And these, you might notice when I start off one of these screws, let's try to show it more clearly in this next one, kind of insert the screw into its hole and rotate backwards. You might have heard that click. That indicates that you just hit the original threading so that you're not creating some cross threads, and this plastic's starting to get old as it is, and so we don't want to cause any undue stress on the plastics. Alright, so let's give this thing the analog board. One thing I want to pay attention to here is this seems like it's not perfectly straight, and I don't know if it is supposed to be perfectly straight. I haven't taken any more of these apart, so I'm going to be really careful when I put this thing in to see if it's supposed to be straight. Yep, it seems like this is supposed to be aligned. Yeah, okay, thank you, Diags. seems like it's gonna be nice. I can feel it working. Let me put on this little, oops, this little thing. I think it went the other way because I can see the little indentations where the screws were. So the washer, the bitey washer. And these were the screws that were here. I can tell because there was some corrosion in this spot. I hit them with, soaked a little bit of vinegar, cleaned them up, hit them with some deoxit, so hopefully that should be sort of preserved. Two more screws up here. Two more or one more? I only see one more. It's possible I lost. Oh, okay, well, I don't know if it's clear in the camera, but there's only indentations around that screw hole. So I have a feeling when I got it that it only did have one screw there. It's not that one. Probably don't need to put this on right now, but most likely I'll electrocute myself if I don't. I'll only use two to hold it on for the time being. Alright, so there's this. Let me go grab the screen. I just realized I forgot to clean the back side of the screen. Don't clean the red stuff off. Oh. Okay, well, here's a good tip that I didn't know. You should probably do the do the screen before you do the analog board. Ah, crap. All right, out comes the analog board. Yeah, that's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt to try to take off. Yes, it's very important to get that ground screw or the ground wire back in place. I don't remember what happens, but isn't it like that it basically causes a single line to shoot across your screen and do a little burn in? That. Actually, since we're doing this way, I'm gonna plug that in the yoke. Okay. So we have that. Let's connect the anode. Let's connect ground wire. All right, so I think that's all the connections for this. Gonna grab the motherboard. So you can see there's a little ridge there that goes along the side of this plastic. And let's see here. It'll also be fun to see if I use the right caps for the analog board. See if they explode right now. Alright, we got bong. We have a picture. I'm not seeing any picture here. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not hearing the high voltage kick on. Oh, oh, there we go. Is there a sound coming through that is obnoxious? Alright, we got Blinky. Yeah, I don't hear any sizzle in real life. Hopefully that's not a bad sizzle. Alright. I turned the brightness down before. It couldn't show up. Maybe I was being impatient. Alright, well that's cool. Oh man, I am so stoked. Alright, so let's see here. What else? What other screws do I have? Oh, alright, so yeah, let's pop the motherboard out. So, the floppy, I don't remember, I got confused with my floppies. So honestly, I don't know if this floppy is from this computer or if it's from an SE. But in either case, I had already cleaned up the floppy and I checked it in an SE, so I'm pretty sure we're good. Oh, I already have it here. Oh geez, that's awesome, Adam. So did you get a good price for the SE with no video that had just a brightness knob issue? Oh shit. $25. Nice. So I left the original gear in this floppy. I took the eject mechanism totally apart, cleaned it and lubricated it, and it seems really good. Everything inserts really cleanly and ejects. I'll show you here in a second, hopefully, if we don't screw anything up in the next few minutes. But yeah, it seems like the floppy's in really good condition. I did buy some of the little replacement floppies or gears that you can get on eBay, in case something pops up. Yeah, so far I've done 2 of the 800K floppies out of my batch, and they both look great, and they seem to work great. I mean, once I clean them and lube them. But my 1.44s, I'm having terrible luck with my 1.44 floppies. These 800Ks seem to be tanks relatively. Wow, you found a place that has 10 of them for 7? Jeez. I got ripped. I think I paid $20 for 4 or something. I don't think these are 3D printed. We can. Yeah, they might be 3D printed. They don't look like the old 3D printed ones, but I see very faint lines running through them. Put this little jobby back on. Connect back up our power cable. Floppy. Alright, so here's another potential point of contention. I don't have a real keyboard for this, but I did make one of these adapter things up, so hopefully this works. I finally just got a real mouse today. I got this on eBay. It's not known if it works, but it came with this excellent packing slip. So it's gotta work, right? Oh shit, sorry. Oh. So let's plug in a mouse. Feels kind of dirty to be hooking a Dell keyboard up to a Mac like this. Let's pop. You want to test the floppy drive first? Okay. So here's System 6. Let's pop that. Change up our view. Nope. Helps if you plug them in. I'm like cringing every time. Put in a blank one. I don't think I have any blank 800K discs right now. Ooh, it didn't like this. Oh, this isn't an 800K. That's my 1.44. Look at that happy Mac. Oh, you have no idea how exciting this is for me. This is my first restored Mac. The mouse works. Holy crap, I bought a mouse for $50 freaking dollars and it actually works. Alright, let's restart and see if my blue SCSI works. Look at that. Yeah, this drive, when I first got it, I mean, it was totally seized up. I tried to put a disc in, and it was like trying to swim through gum. So I totally took everything apart, cleaned it, lubricated it, and it seems to be pretty smooth now. Ooh, happy Mac. That means we got the blue SCSI working. Damn! This is exciting. Holy crap. I've never used a Mac Plus before. So sorry, I'm getting a little excited here. Yeah, I definitely want to take the mouse apart. This came just like an hour ago from UPS, and I was so excited to get the mouse so that I could actually put this thing together and test it, because I really had no way to test out this Mac Plus, because all I have is ADB keyboards. I also have adjustment tools coming in this week so that I can sort of tweak the settings on the screen. Holy crap, this works too. Alright, mad props to Steve from Mac84 for doing a video about making one of these little adapters. So, this thing works. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, I'm like shaking. Because this is... I mean, I guess it's kind of weird that I'm excited about this kind of thing. Oh shit, sorry about the audio interference. I really do need to come up with a better audio solution, get it away from the power supply. Wow. Whew. Alright, well, let's shut down. So that we're not killing everybody's ears with that audio interference. Also want to shout out to my IT guy that found me a phone cable for butchering so that I could make the adapter. Yeah, I know I can use a regular screwdriver to adjust the pots, but I made the mistake of trying to do the adjustments on one of my Mac SEs, or actually my first Mac SE, the one behind me there, and that didn't go well. When I inserted one of the Allen one into one of the resistors, it was probably the same as this one over here, on the messy. That didn't go well. Oops. All right, so let's put the case on and turn this back into a real complete machine. Just make sure all these screws are tight. Put in my last two of these things. Alright, does anyone notice if I'm missing any internal screws? I think I have everything. Oh no, this ground lead. Yeah, jeez. I could have killed us all. Case. Sorry about bumping you. Make you all seasick. Don't forget the guard. What guard am I forgetting? Oh. You mean the plastic thing on the bottom? I got that thing on the bottom. The EMI filter thing. Look, I'm gonna destroy the mouse. I just got it. Jeez. Fiberglass guard. I don't know what fiberglass guard. Are you talking this? The thing on there? I don't remember any fiberglass on these. Yeah, that thing. Okay, good. Alright, yeah, I thought I had everything. There we go. Okay. I love the styling on these. This is my favorite of these compact Macs. This little grill thing on here. Oh, I love this. Oh, I didn't realize they were fiberglass. I thought they were plastic. Unscrew. Short screws at the top? Okay. piece that goes on the back. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, I know what you're saying about the aluminum piece. I think I know where that is. Alright, so let's take a look at this beast all assembled. Oh god, that would be awful. So my camera's sort of over bleaching this thing out. It still has a little bit of the beige color, but this is one of the later, I guess they call it the platinum. But yeah, this thing turned out pretty nice. I'm really excited how well this one turned out. See, the sides generally pretty nice. I think I can clean up these little Mars off of there. Like I said, there was a little bit of yellowing over here, but I think I cleared out. This was actually really yellow on the case. I cleaned up the case better than the front bezel, but cool. Yeah, I have well, a brown platinum Mac. So if you haven't seen this before, these are what I call my Sour16. Sweet followed by 1.6 is trademarked, so I didn't want to use that. So I picked these 16 compact Macs up. That one right there on the upper left is the one that we're working on here today. But you can see the rest of them are all in various shades of beige. So there were 6 Mac Pluses, 8 Mac SEs, and a Mac Classic and a Mac Classic 2. So yeah, so there's this. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up for today. I'll probably be putting the Mac Classic back together in a day or two. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow if nobody else is streaming. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Diags. It's been nice chatting with y'all. I'm really excited that I got one of these things working. And so if you want to see some more finagling of some old compact Macs, make sure to get subscribed. I'm also working on this is a Packard Bell that I did a stream about the other day that has an IBM motherboard in it. So I have some other projects going on. I'm probably going to be building a 386 from scratch very shortly. And so yeah, I have a lot of projects going on, so get subscribed if you're into this kind of stuff. And I also want to thank everyone that's already subscribed to my channel. So I've been doing this for a month and a half, 2 months, and I figured that my target audience is probably 30 people, and I've gotten to know a few of you, but thanks for everyone that's already subscribed. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to interacting with you all more as we go along. So I'm gonna get out of here. Have a great day, everybody.